This is how I made a kids meal toy with some bear blocks, some silicone, and what is that? Baking powder? And some resin. Today's video is sponsored by Squarespace. Okay, so the sweet Denzel Curry Goat sent me a package. In it is the #1 most coolest HappyMeal bag I've ever done Bitsy. When he was here a year ago, maybe 2 years ago, holy shit, we got a Louis Vuitton bag that we cut up and we're like, let's do a project with it, and we're barely getting to it. And these fries are Stell and the burger's Stell, and there's no toy in there. There's no Happy Meal toy. Kids Meal toy? Is that what it's called? And so that's what we're gonna make. Look inside there, nothing. So this bag, he has a whole video, you need to go watch it. I'll put a link in the description. How he made this, how he cut up the bag, and it's just so very good. So I'm like, okay, I need to make something. The Kids Meal toy needs to be on the same level, same caliber as Curry Goat's bag here.
I love myself.
So I thought maybe we could do bear blocks. I don't know a whole lot about bear blocks, but here goes nothing.
You thought that was going to be a transition. It's not.
There's the transition. All right, so I just found one that I could find, the cheapest one I could find. I think it was like $80. Got it. Has 100% and a 400% mold, which will be cool. We can use the smaller one as like a sample one to see how the big one's gonna look, and it comes apart pretty easily, so that's cool. We'll make little molds separately of that. The big ones rotates the legs, the face, the back, the butt, but I couldn't figure out how to take it apart, so we're just gonna mold it as one big piece. To do this, I had to refresh myself because I've done this before with the skull and then like with the little toy soldiers. So I'm like, okay, let's go. Cornstarch and silicone, the stuff that you can find at like any hardware store. Just all-purpose tile or water sealant, whatever, silicone. Mix that up. Coat my hands in the baking soda. Is that baking soda, baking powder? It's gotta be baking powder. Oh no. Anyways, you mix it up until it gets nice and sticky. While it's sticky, just mush it onto whatever you're gonna make a mold of. And then I like to powder on top and then pat that down to make sure it's getting in all the grooves and not sticking to my fingers. And just keep on repeating that process over and over and over and over again. I think about it. This is gonna get copyright flagged because I'm singing that song so perfectly. Anyway, so you got that all done, and I'm like, I wonder if I can mix this straight on top of the bear, straight on top of the mold. So I had the silicone, add some powder, mushed it on, and it worked pretty well. It worked well enough that I got brave, and I'm like, let's try to get these edges all crisp because they're kind of sloppy. So I did that and tried to mix the edges right onto there. And what ended up happening is when it dried, it was like so sticky to like wherever it was touching the bear. So I had to come in with a razor blade, so that sucked. And had to go all around it. So I don't recommend doing that. No. Don't do it. But eventually I got it out. And the bear was kind of a mess. And also by pulling it, I realized that's how you can pull it apart. And I could have done this in separate like molds and made it modular, but I have half a mold already, so let's just figure this out. So I cleaned this off so the second half of the mold will be clean. Scratched it off, kind of scratched the paint. Made the clean surface to make some more of the silicone molding stuff, and mushed it up until it was nice and sticky. And I thought what I could do is I could put it inside the one mold I've already made to kind of smooth it out, because there's a bunch of like ridges and like air bubbles. So I'm like, I'll just coat it with like a little frosting layer. Ooh, it kind of looks like, you know when you get graham crackers and that one frosting they put in the graham crackers as vanilla? That's what it reminds me of. But anyways, you do a little layer, then I coated this with all the powder so that it wouldn't be sticky, and mushed it on in with the hopes that that's gonna make it smoother and better. We'll see. And so now I'm just gonna make more of the mold stuff, the silicone molded stuff, so I can do the second half. And just like the first one, just mush it all on there and take some powder, and pat it in there. So we got a cute little mummified bear box. All right, so I made some more of it. This is gonna be for the smaller one. So I'm just gonna wrap it around it and dough it up like it's a dinner roll. Do that all to 4 of them. We're eating well tonight. Sure. Powder it so that I can clump it together. And yeah, that should work. Now I'm just gonna let it dry. It dried pretty quick, but I think I left those overnight. So I clean it up, and now I'm going to cut it open. Or just rip it open. Here goes nothing. Put that there. Now I have these itty bitty tiny ones that I really have a hard time believing that it worked. Sorry, this guy. Alright, cutting these apart was a pain. And I tried to get down like the middle. Do you remember where the bathroom is? And I almost got it. It was kind of hard and the bear was a little off kilter. But I think it's going to work for what we're going for. This is like, we're going to test out kind of what my plan is for the big bear on this little bear. Cut. It's going to be hard to get into there. So much that I wonder if I like... Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. Gotta do that. So I just took out all the other pieces, cut them in half. And... So, you know, I've been with my dream girl for a while now. So I thought I'd do something nice because they do so much for me, you know. Whenever I have an idea for like a cool new thing I want to make, like these rings, they're super supportive and they help like shout it out to other people. They've helped like grow my business more than I would have been able to do it all by myself. And you know, they're always there for me. They're 24/7 if I ever have any like problems or questions. They just get me. They understand me. I feel like they're just so special. It's rude for me to keep them all to myself. So I want you to use them too. In fact, you can actually take advantage of them for free. Super huge big thanks. That's super big huge thanks to today's sponsor, Squarespace. I love them. They've been my go-to thing for all things websites since I started this whole ordeal. They have all the tools to help not only create a perfect website and get your business to like online, but also to help grow it, sell it, do e-commerce, all the things. And like I said, if I have any questions, they have an award-winning 24/7 hour customer service. You can create your free website today by going to the link in my description, www.squarespace.com/schmood, and start that free trial today. Also, don't forget to use coupon code schmood to get 10% off your first purchase. Cool. Okay, so I have all this paper. Construction paper, and I think it's gonna look good with the like Louis Vuitton to match the bag. And there's a bag that's like all colorful and white and it has like all these different colors, so that's kind of my thought. I tried to cut it out with the paper, it didn't work well, and then I remembered that I have a Cricut, and so I just did a quick draft of this to see how it looked, and it's gonna work. And so I'm gonna go make a real vector file of these images, but for now that looks like it's gonna work. So cool. So I take this light cure UV resin and we're just gonna make a thin layer around the whole thing. This is so that it has like form, and also I don't want my little paper symbols being right on the side, like right on the side of the little bear. I want to be on the inside, so this will give it a little layer so that they're on the inside. Bring it out into the sun, take it back in, it's secured, we're ready to start going. So I have all these papers of the Louis Vuitton logos cut out in pattern. Just gotta peel it off and weed out all the pieces I don't want. which took remarkably a long time. Who'd have thunk it? So, peeling off the best, trying not to bend the paper, and only using the piece that I want. These little tiny ones are for the little bear, the big ones are for the big bear. And yeah, I think it's gonna look cool. So just got all of those all taken off. And then I got them taken off. And I got them taken off. Yeah, there we go. For reals, I got them taken off. Now we're ready to start. So I'm just gonna place them. Kind of get them where I think they're gonna look good. I want it to be all a bunch of different colors, so no real color or logo or emblem is too close to each other. Give some nice spacing, some balance. Do it on the other side, and then also I flipped the logo so that when you're looking on the inside, it's the right way. Put a little bit of resin, took it outside. Put more resin, took it outside. Put more resin, took it outside. That's kind of the name of the game. Added more little piece of papers. Oh, I want my little smiley face in the middle of his head. So it's like, there's my logo with all these other things. Cute. So I put it in there and I doubled it up so it'd be nice and thick, but I noticed the resin immediately changed the color of the paper. I noticed that with the small little emblems too. That was darker, so I flipped it to the lighter side and that made it the color that I like, so that's perfect. Added in the little asterisk face. Asterisk. And cool. Put it out in the sun. I kind of messed up because I tried to mush it together while it was still not all the way cured. Realizing what I should do is take it out. And that's what I'm going to do. I'll do this for all the other pieces of the bear. Take it out. And then use the resin to like sandwich it in there. So make a nice little fat little layer. Goopy enough to hopefully that there won't be any air bubbles. We can fix air bubbles, but it's best that we don't. Lining up is kind of hard, especially because it's not strictly down the middle, so I'm kind of guessing. Took it out in the sun. And voila. La pièce de la résistance. I don't know what that means. Is that French? I'm French. So it has like some of the edges that I need to shape up and make look good. But pretty stoked that worked out. So then just did it to all the other pieces, his legs and his arms. And yeah, gonna do some cleanup. I'm running out of sun, so I went outside to hopefully cut it and add a little bit more resin where it needs to. I let it sit for a little bit. Ugh. And I didn't want to time up, so I sat outside and started carving away at the bears. Because ideally I want to carve this and like sand it down and then add another layer of the UV resin and let it sit out in the sun. But I think I'm gonna run out of daylight is my thoughts. That's what I'm thinking right now. I think I'm gonna run out of daylight. So we're just gonna make work what we can. Let's go back in and the sun's gone. And I'm just cutting up, cleaning it up as much as I can. It has little knobs for the arms and legs to sit in so that they can move. So we're gonna try to figure out how to make that work too. First things first is clean them all up, get the seams done. And I took this drill right where those arms connect and drilled a hole. Roughly the same size as the little protruding guy that's on the body. The little wart, the little growth, the little nub, put it on there. And yeah, works surprisingly well. It's on the leg as well. Pushed together. The one arm is missing one. So I actually just did some super glue. And that seemed to work well enough. Not yet. Oh, also I sanded it and it made it really like matte and rough. And notice if I just put another layer of the UV resin, it shines it right back up and it becomes see-through again. So I did that to the whole piece. And if there was sunlight, I could go out there and it would be good, like nice, but since it's not, I like put a needle in the head so I could hold it while I was still wet and I'm so shaky, but this is working. Put on a little rotator guy so we can get a good look. And honestly, pretty stoked with how this turned out. It's pretty rough. I did this in one day. Wow, did I really? No, I didn't make the molds. The molds took forever, but I did the resin part in one day. I think I'm gonna make the smiley face smaller, so like that just looks like his head is yellow. And I want it to look like a little circle inside the head. I also don't like how the Louis Vuitton emblems are like really close to the outside, so we're gonna fix that, make the skin a little thicker. But yeah, we'll move on to the big one next video. It's gonna be a two-parter, and also I have some scrap fabric that I'm also gonna use. So excited for that. All right, so be sure to like and subscribe. Go ahead and hit that bell notification. And yeah,